Hello and welcome to this module all about IELTS General Writing Task 1. The aim of this module is to make sure that you're able to write an IELTS Band 7, 8 or 9 answer for any IELTS General Writing Task 1, and that means that you'll be able to deal confidently with any question type. You'll also be able to replicate the same writing process, which allows you to repeat your success time and time again. First of all, let's deal with the requirements of the task. So, as you may know, you'll be required to write a letter for the general IELTS test. For the academic test, you have to analyze maps and processes and charts. So some people feel, and I agree, that this particular test, writing a letter, is somewhat easier to prepare for than the academic side of the test. So that's the good news. Now, the letter must be written in the correct style, and that's going to be either formal or informal, and we'll be looking at that. The letter must be at least 150 words minimum. So it must be at least 150 words. If you write less, you will lose marks. And you're going to allow yourself about 20 minutes time to write your letter. As you may know, the entire writing test lasts 1 hour, and you have 2 tests to do. Part 1, which is this letter, and the second part, which is the essay. And it's recommended that you spend 20 minutes on the letter and then 40 minutes on the essay. And the letter is worth 1/3 of your total IELTS writing band score. So it is important. 1/3 is still a significant proportion. So as well as preparing well for your essay, you need to be preparing well for this part of the test too. There are 6 basic types of letter that you could be given as part of your test. And the first type of letter is one where you have to write a letter that requests information. The second type is where you provide personal or factual information, as in a job application. The third type is where you have to explain a problem or situation. This may be something like a resignation letter or a letter of apology. The fourth type is where you make a request or explain wants or needs. This could be an invitation or a letter trying to make formal arrangements. The fifth type is where you have to make a complaint about something. It could be service or a product or an experience that you had. And the final type of letter is where you have to make suggestions, give recommendations, or simply give some advice to somebody. So they are the 6 different types of letter that you need to be familiar with. Now we're going to take a look at examples of each of those different types of questions, just to give you an idea of the types of questions that you might face and some of the types of instructions that you're likely to see. The first type of letter is one that asks you to make a request or explain wants or needs. So here's what a Task 1 question looks like. It always follows this same format, and you can see that you're told that you should spend about 20 minutes on this task. You'll always see that. And you'll always see the instruction underneath that you need to write at least 150 words. Now, the first sentence where it says, "A friend has agreed to look after your house and pet while you are on holiday," that is your opening statement, or you might call it the background sentence or background statement, and you'll have one of those for every question that you see. You'll then be told who you're going to write a letter to. So here it says, write a letter to your friend. And then you're given 3 bullet points that you have to write about. So here we're told that we need to give contact details for when you are away. that you need to give instructions about how to care for your pet, and that you need to describe other household duties. And the questions will always follow this same format. This is really useful to us because it means we can use the same answer structure and the same process to answer all of these letter type questions. Here is a question asking for us to provide personal or factual information, and as you can see, it's exactly the same layout. This time it says that you have recently started work in a new company. Write a letter to an English-speaking friend, and again you've got the 3 bullet points. So you've got the background statement again, and the 3 bullet points, and the same 2 instructions, 20 minutes and 150 words. The next letter type is one where you may need to explain a problem or situation, and same format again. This time it reads, you are working for a company, you need to take some time off work and want to ask your manager about this. Write a letter to your manager. In your letter, explain why you want to take time off work, give details of the amount of time you need, and suggest how your work could be covered while you are away. The fourth type of question is where you need to request information. Here is an example of one of those. It's a group of friends and they're writing to request information from the resort manager about activities that they can do and places that they can eat. The fifth type of letter is a letter of complaint. The example here is noisy neighbours, and you have to write a letter to the local council to complain about the noisy neighbours. And the final type of letter is one where you are asked to make suggestions or recommendations. Here you're making suggestions to a friend who is considering visiting your part of the world for a holiday. So here's a quick summary of what we've covered in this video. We now know that you have to write at least 150 words and that you need to spend 20 minutes writing your answer. We've seen the 6 different types of letters that you might have to write. We've noticed that all the questions give us an opening statement which contains important background information. This is then followed by an instruction sentence telling you who to write to, and then you're always going to see 3 bullet points that tell you what you have to write about. This is all very useful because it means we can write our answers using the same structure for each question.